Would that not
That's
fucking
really good.
absolutely rip? And you're gonna see in the industry, it's gonna change, man. Bro, it's a absolute cheat code.
I've been wanting to work with you guys for a while. There were so many times where I was like, fuck, like I should just message Sui and just do it.
Those are the funnels that are gonna work in 2026.
I always thought about that. How do you even do that?
Bro, like I promise you, if you do this, you will establish yourself even more as an industry leader.
This is hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Andres, this is actually cooked.
I've gone like 1/5 through the recording.
Yeah.
So what I took from it, I actually fucking implemented. I had a record month in January.
Yeah. Andres runs a consulting offer that helps people overcome an anxiety disorder. He's paid over $80,000 to try and help him scale and break past his plateau, but nothing's really worked. You can never build that predictability and consistency, and was stuck on what I call the revenue roller coaster. He flew over 12 hours from Miami to London to get direct advice from me to show him exactly how to sustain consistent 6-figure months. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Andres. I'm super excited to have him here. We're gonna break down everything that he needs to do in his business in order to take himself from 100K a month all the way to 200 and 300K months. So yeah, I'm excited to make it happen.
Good after. My name is Andres Wolf. I am the founder of Reality Reconnect, and I help people with DPDR, depersonalization, derealization disorder. I went through it myself, and ever since then I've started helping people overcome it, and it's been amazing.
Love
what I do.
Love it. Super impactful offer. Super like fulfilling, I can imagine. And so we can go over some of the numbers and take it from there.
Revenue last 12 months, around 615K. Profit like 430. I invested a lot over the last year, you know, mentorships, paying the team. It's been a year and a half now, and I've helped 145 clients.
Sick.
My ideal client's about 18 to 29. After the presentation with Danny and them, I realized I want to cater to a little bit older audience.
Yeah.
So like I raised it a little bit at 23.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a, no one really has that in their bio.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but you're appealing to a more sophisticated audience because they can pay more, right?
Yes, correct.
The top 20% of clients will lead to 80% of the revenue.
I've been telling like,
right?
I told one
That's
of my
probably your
guys
sales team. Do you know who this top 20% of client is?
I picked out like my top 5 clients that I loved working with, that had the best results, that put the most amount of money up front. They were all 23 to 29.
Yeah,
so
23 to 29.
23
Beautiful.
to 29, yeah.
Okay, so that's the ICP we're doubling down on. What do they usually do?
I don't really have a specific type of job. Usually out of college. Yeah, actually, all of them out of college have a job. Men and women. I like working with both equally as much. One of the most common things too is that they were triggered by a panic attack. So me and them can relate to that one panic attack that set them off and kind of changed the rest of their lives. They're also just afraid of recovery. They're afraid that they're gonna be stuck like this forever. Current situation, they actually want a step-by-step, like a guaranteed approach to actually help them get their life back. And they've tried traditional things like therapy, like medication, and nothing's worked yet.
So they're in a lot of pain.
Yes,
a lot
correct.
of pain. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next slide.
I help them overcome it within weeks or months and achieve their best selves. Not just recover, but hit the ground running once they recover, and they can transition to any area of life they want to after that.
I love it. Super strong pain point, everything.
Hell yeah.
Super good outcome as well, so.
Yes, sir.
Sick.
How I help them, the process, as soon as they join, they get access to the Reality Reconnect course. So the first stage in the program is actually gaining all the knowledge they need to know. Throughout the course, it is pretty extensive, so they get like 3 checkpoint calls. The first one's with me. Within a day or two of joining the program, they get a call with me, 15 minutes, it's an intro call. They get another call with my other coach. They get another call with my other coach as they progress through the course. As soon as they're done with the course, they get onboarded into the Discord community, onboarded to the one-on-one chats. Bi-weekly calls with myself. That's something I started doing recently. I used to do weekly calls. I realized bi-weekly is better, and then they get calls with my team literally whenever they want throughout the week. And a really key point is we work with them until they recover. That's my offer. They know that we're not just going to leave them in the dust a couple weeks, a couple months in. Like, we have daily accountability, daily guidance every step of the way.
Okay, so there's no bottleneck in the fulfillment, right?
Not right now. But there just was, because we had a record month in January. We had a lot of clients come in. I did notice fulfillment was dying down a bit. Also, I had a client retreat and my guys were out there, they're busy. But I realized I needed to make the move to turn my part-time CSM to a full-time CSM. You told me this before, like,
literally
our first consulting call, you're like, bro, you guys are gonna be spread too thin. And it's true. You know, now I got to make changes and get him fully on the fulfillment side of things, and we won't have to worry about that ever again.
It's basically a solved issue, right?
It's basically solved now.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
Cool.
The thing with my offers, like the different tiers, is that it depends how long they've had the disorder for. If they have the disorder for under a year, the 30-day program is perfect for them. We can guarantee a recovery in 30 days. If it's like 1 to 3 years, we'll put them in the 60-day program, and if it's like over 3 years, we go into the 90-day program. And And the Blueprint program is just for people that can't afford any of the other options. The Blueprint program entails of just the course, the action plan call with me, and 1 call with a team member. So they get essentially the blueprint to recovery.
What advice do you think I'd give you with this one?
I don't know.
No clue?
No.
Get rid of the Blueprint program.
You think?
Realistically, it's like, a lot of the times what we do is we have lower ticket offers because we want to appeal to everybody. But essentially, your free content should be the blueprint. Your free content should be the blueprint. And essentially, you should help them solve the first 1 to 3 problems. So I would argue that you probably get a decent amount of sales from Blueprint, right?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's not something like we put a lot of attention to. It's something like we kind of set it and forget it, because with the Blueprint program for us, it's like I'm being extremely selective with who we work with. Like I literally do not care if they have the capital. Like we have literally a client right now that has the capital for the 90-day program, and I'm very highly considering turning her down just because I don't like where her mindset is at. I don't like where her commitment's at, and she was a little bit rude on one of the calls with one of my guys. So I don't even want to accept her into the 90-day, right? But I would more than happy put her in the Blueprint, give her a course, give her a call, and she'll be on her way. You know what I mean? And we also have a lot of clients that like, I don't know, like I really just don't want to take on as clients, and I would much rather give them the course, give them a call, and they're on their way. 1900, it's no big deal. You know, that's how I feel. Because if I don't do that, then what do? I'm just turning down money, I guess. And I'm turning down helping them, and I don't want to just like leave them in the dust.
So it's more of like an impact thing.
It is an impact thing. It is an impact thing, 100%. Like it doesn't even matter. Like.
And how many sales do you get off a Blueprint?
We don't get that many. It's not like a super popular thing. It's just like a kind of like an impact thing. If we want to help them, but they really just can't afford anything else.
The biggest impact thing would be make it free, but just don't do the one-on-one call.
Okay.
Genuinely.
The course?
I would do parts of the course. Because what you have to do, you have to sell exclusivity. The reason why I'm very against do it yourself and kind of like 1 call and then you go on your way, like we think we're doing them a favor, but the thing is, bro, they don't need more information. Realistically, your clients don't need more information. They need to be better at being held accountable. They need to have someone that actually cares for them and gets them from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And realistically, it's like you're doing them a disservice because they think that they can achieve it, but it's like the problem is the implementation. So I'd argue that if we actually track the Blueprint program success rate, it's much lower, obviously, than the 30, 60, 90.
No, of course.
Right?
Of course.
So I think we just get rid of it completely. And if it is an impact thing, I'll just do it for free. I would get some of your modules and do a free course. That's what I would do. So I would take, maybe 25% of your paid course and make it free. Bro, like I promise you, if you do this, you're already known as an industry leader, but you will establish yourself even more as an industry leader because now it's not about the money, it's about the impact. So when I went ahead and did this, the first month where we ran it as an ad as well. And we were able to get a 14x ROAS in the first 30 days of launching that ad. And on top of that, we were also able to just get so many people that would piff because they were like, man, you're just good at what you do. You can't fake a free course like that. You can't fake information like that. Let me join you. So I'd argue that the free course move would be huge. Yes, it'll attract a lot of people that you don't want, but it'll solidify your position, and who doesn't like free stuff?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I would just get rid of the Blueprint. Yeah.
And what do you think about my price points, by the way? Because I was thinking about raising it a bit.
What's your close rate?
I don't track. I wish I did.
You don't track your close rate?
I don't track anything. You know this. I don't track anything.
Okay, so
that's something I want to start doing as of literally yesterday.
You cannot actually you cannot make good decisions in your business if you don't track anything. And man, I remember our first call, I was just straight up like, just roasting you, you know, because like straight up, you're not tracking anything. And I'm wondering like, what did your past guys teach you? We give you the SOPs to track. So do you have a VA?
I do not have a VA.
Okay, so it's a matter of just hiring a VA to be able to track all of these systems for you, because the bottleneck that you think is stopping you, you think that it's a problem with your tracking, but the problem is not actually the tracking, the problem is that you don't have someone to track it for you. I don't track all my data. I built the systems once and then I have a VA that tracks everything for me. So my Lucre Studio is tracked, I know how many book calls, I know my new convo to qualified booking percentage, I know all these things. Your biggest bottleneck right now is actually the tracking. Because now we can't even make a decision based on whether or not we can raise the price.
Yep, facts.
Can you give me an estimate for the close rates?
I think it's around in the 30s.
30%?
I think it's around the 30s.
For 30 day?
Oh, I'm saying in general. The 30 day is the most popular. If I had to estimate, it would be a little bit higher, probably 40 for the 30 day.
What is the client success rate for people that do join the 30 day? Is it just straight up 100%?
Yeah.
So when you say I work with someone until they achieve it, what if they join the 30 day program and they take longer than 30 days?
It's fine. I'll work with them until they recover.
So if I join the 30 day, it's the same as me joining the 90 day?
Not really. It just depends, because what I offer is the result. So it's not about like the time allocated, it's more of the result they're getting.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel very comfortable saying I can guarantee your recovery in the 30 days.
Yeah.
If they've had it under a year.
Okay.
Right? I would never tell that to someone who's had it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's the thing. It's very hard to make decisions because we don't have any KPIs to go off of. Like we're guessing a closing rate. But I would say that if you generally just had if you got rid of a 30 day and you had a 60 day and you bumped down that price slightly lower and you had a 60 day and a 90 day and you only had these two offers, you'd make more money, 100%.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Simply because, first of all, I know for a fact that your closer is downselling people the moment that they get the objection. So you're not actually making 4.5, you're losing out on 3K every time that you close or downsells. Because when you hear no as a closer and you have commission breath, I'm not saying your closers have commission breath, but human nature is human nature, right? We want to cash collect. And so when a closer wants to cash collect and they hear a no, their immediate thing, it's not going to be solving, like their limiting belief. It's going to be downselling them on the cheapest option to get them from point A to point B.
The blueprint?
Which is going to be the 30 day.
We'll never downsell them to a program that we don't feel is a good fit for them. It's like we'll never downsell a 60 to 30, ever. We won't downsell 90 to 60. It'll be probably blueprint in that case. Because again, if I'm putting my name behind it, my reputation behind it, I'm not going to downsell a 30-day program if what they want is a guaranteed recovery. You know what I mean? If anything, we do a payment plan to try to figure it out, but we don't downsell for.
So essentially, you wouldn't pitch someone a 60 and a 30. You would only pitch them one based on what your closer thinks is best.
100%.
So based on how long they've been facing this issue,
and
you pitch them on one thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And based on the severity of depending on how the call went, and he'll make a decision. Like he's very good with that.
Okay, then that's completely different. I mean, it's very different from regular info offers where immediately you downsell. But if that's the case, let's keep it at this.
Okay.
Completely fine. I would track the closing rate, and if it's above a 50%, I'd increase the price by 20% of the price. So 20% of 4.5, that's around 700-ish. I'd increase it by 700, charge 5.2, and the sweet spot is having a close rate of around 35 to 40%. And the thing is, we had a close rate of, literally last month, they had 90. So we're bumping that price up high. We're increasing by 30 to 40%. And the goal is to hear more no's than you hear yeses. Because when you hear more no's, that means your ICP is dialed in because it's specific. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. How do I get them? Instagram, TikTok, paid ads, YouTube. Most of my clients came from Instagram, then from TikTok, and then from ads, and then from YouTube.
Okay, why is YouTube the least?
It's because I don't have volume on there.
I
just use it as nurturing. But I'll tell you what, my clients that came from YouTube have been solid, really solid.
Which out of these four, which clients pay the most and do you enjoy working with most?
I couldn't tell you that, but I can tell you I haven't had a bad client from YouTube.
You haven't had a bad client? I haven't had a bad client
from YouTube. I've had only good clients, committed people come through the door who are just kind of pre-sold, honestly, on
pre-sold,
yeah, kind of pre-sold.
So you mentioned that your average closing rate is around 40% right now, and if they are pre-sold, that means YouTube is the people that you double down on. So everything in your funnel should essentially run through YouTube. Everything on the IG, your entire funnel should run through YouTube's IG, TikTok, and ads. All of them should funnel over to the YouTube. This should be the commonality, and then it goes to a sales call. And the reason why is because if we actually pinpoint what YouTube does to people, it builds an extreme amount of trust. It builds an extreme amount of hey, this guy can actually help me, right? Because again, your people have so many limiting beliefs going through their head that it's a 30-second or a minute reel will not do shit for them.
Can only do so far.
And yeah, exactly. And so
when you say funnel, what do you mean by that?
You should have a KPI to send at least 30 YouTube links.
In the DMs.
Yep.
I always thought about that. How do you even do that?
So essentially, you would pinpoint exactly what objection each YouTube video solves. So I'll give you an example. For me, my clients have a book called Problem. We have a YouTube video for that. I also have an appointment. I have a concept problem.
Right, pre-handle all the
And
objections
so
in there.
specifically for which objections that they face, I will send them that YouTube video, and we have an SOP. Like, okay, if this prospect in the DMs has this problem, send him this video. And so essentially, I want you to create 5 to 10 videos that pre-handle objections, and that's going to be the game changer. And essentially, you drop them into IG very casually, and then you continue the conversation.
Also, think I can send, like, if they just told me their whole story, and I happen to have a client interview, it's like someone who's very similar to that, I can just be like, you remind me so much of XYZ,
Exactly.
and then carry on the conversation.
Yeah.
That's how I can nurture
Exactly.
that. That's good.
But what I would do is I'd be like, what is there, like, what are you struggling with? Oh, I'm struggling with, can you give me an example? In
Just like intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts. Okay, bro, it's so funny you mentioned that. I filmed a video on this last week. You drop it and then you continue,
Do I solve their problem on that video? Like, if they're struggling with intrusive thoughts,
you change your limiting beliefs. So YouTube videos.
So I'm shifting their beliefs.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be to solve them.
It's a mix of both. So the YouTube videos that sell shift beliefs without giving the how. So essentially, think about this video, right? The viewer watching this is gonna be like, okay, I know YouTube is super important, but I'm not telling them exactly what to do or how to film the video. That's in the SOPs that you get, that only my clients get. So they get the what to do, but you get the how to do. They don't get the how to do. If you want the how, you want the step-by-step process that we use, that's when you pay us. Does that make sense? So you're simply shifting their beliefs to make them realize how important it is to do a specific action item, but you don't show them how.
Okay.
That is how you build trust like no other. You know what I mean? Cool?
That's good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So that should be your goal, sending 20 to 30 YouTube links in the DMs across Instagram, TikTok, these two platforms, and funneling everyone down. That will be huge for you, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Really
Any questions on this or no?
No, it makes sense to me.
Cool. Ads, what's your ROAS? You don't know?
No, I don't.
Oh,
but,
Andres, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing?
But ads have helped me a lot in terms of a couple things. The first one is it gave me so many followers. I was at $1 a follower, and I've been like that for 4 months now. So it brought me from 6K to now I'm at 30K.
Okay.
And it also brought me a lot of good leads. I got a 12K pay from one of them. I honestly, with ads, it's really hard to tell, to be honest, but I've kind of been half-assing ads the last couple months, just kind of been boosting some posts here and there. I actually just hit a limit on spend, and I haven't touched ads in last week or so. I'm thinking not touching ads, going on all in on organic, and once I, maybe in a month or so, run some retargeting. I think if I just go into retargeting, I have I've gotten 25K followers in the last couple months. I think it should rip.
I would love to give you advice, but I don't have any data to go off of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the biggest takeaway is let's start actually tracking shit. Because I already gave you the SOPs to track. You have the SOPs to track.
I didn't even look at it, to be honest.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Sure.
So it's we give you all the SOPs and stuff, and you've implemented maybe 20%, and you've already hit a second 100K a month.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It's funny because I was sitting over there, I was thinking, bro, I haven't even I've gone 1/5 through your course.
Yeah.
1/5. But what I took from it, I actually fucking implemented,
and boom.
And it ripped.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of it was mindset, especially when I came to you.
Yeah.
Bro, right before I came to you, I remember I was about to invest in a mindset coach.
Yeah.
But I was just I don't know, I know something was telling me if I just let me just start the course, and a little before you know it, clicked.
Boom.
Went in.
Yeah.
But I know I need to track.
You need to, bro. I'll remind you, and I'm gonna get Kim to be on your ass about it.
Yeah.
Because if you do this, man, 200K, 300, you should be making more than me, because you have a chokehold on this industry. You are a monopoly. Think about that, and your clients deserve your help, bro. Think about how many more people could use your help.
Yeah,
So let's make it happen.
I 100% agree. What channel brings you the most clients? Instagram?
Yeah.
For sure. How often are you posting? 1 to 2 times on IG and TikTok, same thing.
Okay.
Rarely on YouTube. I just post client interviews on YouTube, to be honest. Like I said, I just use it as a nurturing platform. I have like 7 fucking client interviews in the vault that I need to post as soon as I get back. But yeah, I know I need to double down on YouTube more.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do, and I covered this in the mastermind that we went over. I don't want you to just rip client interviews. I want you to rip client journeys.
Okay.
So what is a client journey? The problem with client interviews is that, like, the biggest problem is that you show the dream without the struggle. Mm-hmm. Now, what if you showed both? Mm-hmm. You showed the struggle, and then you showed your process to solve that, and then you showed the result. How much more impactful would that video be?
Yeah, how do you do that exactly? Like, you know what I do? I do it on my Instagram. I almost do I do it before and after. Like I literally show a screenshot of them when they first reach out to me, and the turning point, and then the result. There's like a very small client journey. It's like literally on one. It's on one story.
Okay.
But how would you do that?
Essentially, what you want to do, with what we have, we obviously have client journey, client roadmaps and everything. We track clients on a Notion dashboard, and essentially when we click on each client, we can look at their sales call. So the moment that they say yes and they get onboarded, the person uploads the call link, the Fathom call link, to that actual client profile, and then we get the warm-up call as well. The warm-up call is the onboarding call, and the third one is like the setting call, and then the fourth one is the content, and then the fifth one is with me, Sue call. And so everything is linked here, and we're essentially looking for the best moments to capture. And essentially, can you imagine, like, you show the objection that they gave on a sales call in the first part of that video, and then you combine it with like how the warm-up call and how excited they were. Obviously, you don't show the whole thing, right? That just shows your program, but you show like the best parts and the glimpses of what you help them with, and how their skepticism turn into pure conviction and pure confidence that you're good at what you do. Would that not absolutely rip harder than a client interview? And you're gonna see in the industry, it's gonna change, man. Everyone's gonna go from filming client interviews to filming client journeys, because it's so much more impactful. Instead of just showing the end result, you're showing every step of the journey. And people can see themselves going through that journey the same way that your client did, okay? So I want you to start ripping that. And rarely on YouTube, that has to be the most important platform that you prioritize, because your client is similar to my client in a sense where it takes so much trust. It takes so much conviction. It takes so much belief shifting. The best way to do that is on a YouTube video. So you need over 7 hours of watch time, at least 14 different touch points, and at least 3 different platforms. The best way to fill up this 7 hours, these 7 hours, is through YouTube. Because imagine how many reels they have to watch.
You know what I realized too? With my clients, I don't need 14 different touch points, because they're likely reaching out within the first or 2. Because their pain point's so high, I feel like I don't have time to nurture them. Like I think that's one of my biggest problems. Like they reach out instantly because I need the help. I don't have time to nurture them. Natural skepticism comes up, and I'm pre-qualifying in the DMs, but like there's like resistance, or they just kind of ghost because they're not nurtured enough. Yeah. How the hell do I?
So you would push away into content.
I would just push them away. I feel like
I would push away into content, because that builds more pent-up demand to get them to trust you more by going through more of a YouTube videos. But essentially, you haven't even given them a way to be nurtured, because you only have client interviews up.
True.
Right? So how can we want them to be nurtured when we don't even have nurturing assets up, except for client interviews that are boring to watch? Because, bro, you guys are just talking about success, but I feel like you guys are too ahead of me. That's what they need. You know what I mean? So essentially, you need to get better at YouTube and start prioritizing that as your #1 most important platform, because everything is gonna funnel to the YouTube. Everything. All right?
Okay.
And essentially what you would say is like, don't book in a call if you're not 100% certain working with me, because we want people that are ready to go and ready to crush it as soon as they're on call. And you would try that out, and I promise you it would work 10 times better. But you have to have assets that they can go to, okay? Which is why the free course would work extremely well.
Free course.
Bro, it would rip for you.
That's good. I like that. 25% of it. I'm already thinking what I can do for that, to be honest.
And you can build so much FOMO.
I can just simplify my current course.
Bro,
wrote that down.
I would do like a freebie lead magnet, get their phone number, and call every single one of the qualified guys up, and you can even have a type form logic that says like how much, you know, like
Sorry.
how much do you make a month with your job or whatever. And if they don't have a job, obviously they get DQ, they get the free course as well, but you nurture them and you stay in the pipeline. But the people that are above 5 to 10K a month, you dial them and you essentially book them in for calls. Bro, it's a absolute cheat code. Those are the funnels that are gonna work in 2026. So yeah, man, that's what I would rip. All right. Awesome.
That's advanced shit right there.
Let's do it, bro. Told you, bro. We were going in depth.
This is hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Bro, put eggs.
This is hilarious.
There's no fucking way. Okay.
I don't know.
You don't know anything.
I just don't know. Yeah.
Andres, this is actually cooked.
Yeah, I know.
Like, this is actually cooked.
It's cooked. No.
This guy made 100K a month without tracking jack shit.
X. I just put X.
He just put X, bro. Like, we were meant to go over all the KPIs together, and bro just puts X.
X.
I need you to fucking dial this shit in. So the first thing I'd say is, like, what is your limiting belief behind tracking? Do you just believe that it's, like, not as important? Or?
No, I do believe it's important. So, I just honestly, like, I think I had a limiting belief around it because there was just so much mental resistance to, like, do it. But then I realized I can just get my setter and my closer to do it. And I think because we were being spread so thin, I was like, fuck, I don't want to add, like, another thing to have to do. But now I know that's cooked, and obviously that's fixed. Now I just need a fucking spreadsheet or something to track, honestly.
And we've given that to you.
Is that
bro,
in the Discord?
Yes. Bro, you don't even have to fucking build anything. It's already pre-built for you. You just have to send the SOP to your VA.
Okay. How do I get a VA?
I'll place one for you, bro. We'll make it happen. Yeah, we'll find a VA. Like, all our VAs are pre-trained. It's obviously like a placement fee and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll place one for you. Okay. Track all that shit, bro. You literally just
Why
need
do
to
I need
send
a VA
it.
to track it though? If it's my setter and closer are tracking it.
Because you can't. Because the VA will essentially cross-track everything, and their main job is going to be actually the systems and the tracking the data. So the setting and closing, like, yes, they could help and stuff, but that's not going to be their main priority, and it's always going to be somewhat inaccurate.
It's going to be something else? What are they tracking? Other
somewhat
than that?
inaccurate. Huh?
Oh. What are they tracking other than the setting and closing though?
Man, it's so much.
Like followers.
There's so much. Like, ICP gained, all of these different things. Essentially, like, we track everything from, okay, like, the qualified calls to the show rate.
I need to start simple, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is overwhelming and shit, but over time, like, you'll get better at this. We even track the fulfillment side of things. You know, these are like the aim, like, reference ICP that we'd want to hit for our record months. We stooped just below that in January. We did like 206, which is not bad, but you can see why. Like, the record months, this is what we were booking every single day.
Cool.
And you can see, like, across the board. So it is just a matter of hopping on the call with Fossey and dialing this in.
Oh, Fossey, I haven't talked to him yet.
Bro, use like 10% of the program.
I literally used like 10%, I'm not gonna lie.
And the fact that you're already like, you know, building this much momentum, like, let's double down now. It really just is a matter of getting the systems and SOPs and sending it to your VA that we will train for you. Like, we'll do fucking everything, bro. Okay? Because I know this will make you so much money on the back end. All right?
My goal in 6 months, consistent over 100K a month business for sure. Charging around 20K.
Okay.
You know, raising my prices for A+ clients, industry leading client results I already have, but I want like even more, like even crazier, maybe some client journeys like you were talking about.
Bro,
I think that's fire.
Those would rip for you, man, trust me.
When I made it, I honestly want to scale my software, so I have a software that's going to help people with the disorder itself. It's almost like a chat bot that helps with very specific problems like what they're going through. I want to make a huge impact on that. As far as the consulting business goes, of course I want to keep that running, but in the longer term, I want to have that consistent and actually scale the software so I can make a huge impact.
Okay.
That's my goal.
I like that, bro. I like that.
My problem, this was back when I actually, this is not really the case anymore, but the number one thing holding me back was lack of time to do the high leverage tasks. I had just, I don't know, like, I was just doing bullshit. I was doing shit I shouldn't be doing. I was even setting at a certain point. Like, I was just like, it was so bad. But it's been way significantly better now. I have a competent team that understands what they need to be doing. I feel like I can trust them to do what they need to do. I need to do what I need to do. And I made it very clear to them, like, they need to be A+ players in their own department. I need to be an A+ player in my department. And together, we're gonna fucking shine.
Awesome.
You know?
So what's the number one thing holding right now?
Right now would be, it was fulfillment. It was fulfillment because I literally stopped taking clients in February. Like, I literally told my team, we're not taking on another client until this fulfillment gets solved. And now it's solved, so now we're gonna start ripping again. Now it's setting. but I'm in between deciding to go with like a real setter, like I was telling you earlier, or to maybe go with an AI setter.
And what is the bottleneck specifically in the appointment setting?
Just that I didn't have one.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like my setting is not rocket science, like it's at all. Like literally with a brand new setter, just a competent mind who had never even touched sales in his whole life, did 100K a month first month. Okay. So all I need is someone with availability who's hungry, who understands the vision.
That's the thing, bro. Do you track any KPIs when it comes to appointment setting? So you don't know how many follow-ups he does, how many outreaches he does. So the fact that your setter did all that with no tracking means that he can do 300 with tracking. Because right now it's like, man, you don't even know what KPIs he's hitting. And we're gonna guess what we have to do in order to scale because there's no tracking. So what I want you to do is I want you to track the new convos to qualified booking percentage. So out of 100 new conversations that you have with qualified prospects, how many of them are actually turning into qualified book calls? You probably have no clue, right? And so this is the main metric that you track. Industry standard is around 5 to 10%. CM standard is around 15 to 20%. CM's consulting mastery. So it's like we're essentially double the industry standard, and that's why that's our expertise, that's our bread and butter. You look at Alessio and Brian.
New convo
to qualified book calls.
Yeah,
and I'll essentially send you the Lucre Studio to track all of this, but I need you to get on a call with Alex because he is essentially going to point out what are the things that you got to work on in order to scale from point A to point B. And if you just track better and you increase your KPIs by actually being more intentional with everything that you do, you're going to make so much more fucking money. It's going to be ridiculous. Okay?
Gotcha.
Cool. So that's the main KPI that I need you to track for appointment setting wise. What else is the bottleneck in terms of the appointment setting?
I wouldn't say there's another bottleneck in the appointment setting. Just a lack of tracking and a lack of like a competent setter, available setter.
So the lack of tracking means that you can't even pinpoint the other problems. So it's like we don't even know the problems that we have.
Oh yeah,
you know
that's a
good
point.
Right?
That's a good point, yeah.
So that's why it's like, man, the tracking is just so fucking important. That should be the main thing that you take out of this breakdown. Main fucking
Yeah, I think
thing.
I've matured into it because like if you asked me like 2-3 months ago, I'd be like, bro, fuck tracking. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like now it kind of feels like, I feel like an idiot for not doing it. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You just track the fucking numbers.
And it's not even you tracking.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Like I don't even know what was wrong with me.
Yeah.
Anything else holding me back? Oh yeah, I would say like my organic content. I want to push for organic content so much. The fact that I feel like I'm lacking the tools. I don't even know what it is, but I was having a conversation with Brian. He was pointing out a lot of things, like a lot of things that I was like, shit, he's right.
Let's look at it.
So,
let's look at it.
I want to, well, there it is. I want to reach more people, and it's just, I do well sometimes, and I don't do well others. And I would actually like to hop on a call with Brian and see how they can help me. Because you see it's like 4K, 5K, sometimes 10. So, I mean, this one did well, like 64. But it's not what I wanted. I think if I focus on quality, then I can get like big numbers and it'll bring a lot of leads.
You need to find a format that shows the best strengths that you have. And you already have the raw talking head.
Yeah, the raw talking head I'm natural.
That's already good. And then you already have the podcast clips. Those are two good formats, but the best personal brands always have 4 to 5 formats that they always rotate around.
Really?
So essentially I can tell you like right now, the format that I've seen work for me especially well is just client breakdowns, like one-on-one breakdowns, and implementing this, like it's just super beneficial for the clients. And also just on camera because I just show how I'm competent and stuff. Yeah, I'm just scared he's going out and shit. That's my format as well because it shows how much I care and it shows my coaching style and the way that I address certain problems. You need to find 4 to 5 different formats that allow you to show your strengths and why people choose you. So what you want to do is you want to look at the onboarding and you want to ask a question on why people chose to work with you instead of everybody else.
They love that. I was just talking with a client today actually about it. A lot of them say kind of the same thing, like my authenticity and like the way I don't sugarcoat things.
Okay.
They love that because they're very used to the traditional way of doing things.
Yeah.
It's all BS, it's all sugarcoating, it's all like doing these weird exercises that don't work.
Okay.
And the client results, they were telling me those two things. I mean, they've never seen client results like mine. They've never seen someone really talk about the issue, how I've talk about it, and the fact that I've been there and done it.
Yeah.
Those 3 things.
Okay, those 3 things.
out.
Even then, I would go a level deeper to understand, okay, like, what about those 3 things? Like, because there's a layer deeper. So let's say client results, right? Client results mean that a layer underneath that, you got to ask them why. Like, why are client results important to you? Oh, because I feel like, hey, I've never seen anything that really works, or I don't believe that anything does work, and that proof actually led me to believing something different. Okay, like, why is that also important for you? Because it shows that you actually care. Okay, so why you actually care should be shown in the content. So how can you find a content format that shows you actually care? One-on-one breakdown. Now, obviously, some of your clients are going to be a bit sensitive, but you get the idea. You want to go more towards a content format that shows why you care. But you just gave me 3 very surface level pain points or surface level reasons. You need to ask at least 2 to 3 whys to get the actual reason. Because client results, man, that's fucking basic. That's surface level. Everyone says client results. But if you ask, why is that important for you? Oh, because, I need to see if it works for me. And why is that important for you? Because I tried everything else. Okay, and why is that important for you? Because it shows that you actually care. Boom, now we have the real why.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Cool.
I just think with like this niche, I can really rip if I focus on the organic content. Like no one else really talks about this shit, and I think it's actually a very common problem that people have, and they don't speak about it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to blowing up organically.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. So that's the breakdown. You already know what you got to scale or what you got to do in order to get to the next level. The first one is tracking, obviously, so we can pinpoint. The second one is obviously getting rid of the blueprint offer, and then third one is just changing the way that you position yourself to a more higher authority, to a more sophisticated type of client. We do those 3 things, and we change the perception that you have. We're gonna scale. All right.
Correct. Thank you so much.
Let's run it, bro.
Appreciate it,
Let's run it. Awesome. How does it feel, man? Hitting 100K a month.
It's been awesome. I mean, it was something that for the longest I like had as a goal, but I didn't really know if I could hit it. I did hit it once in October, but I feel like that was kind of like a fluke for some reason. Like I didn't give myself full credit for that. And then I actually put my mind to it in January. I went ahead and did it, doubled down. Yeah, made it happen.
What do you think is the most satisfying part about hitting 100K a month?
The most satisfying part is probably just like the fact that I can say I did it. And the fact that I know it wasn't an accident. Like I actually had intention. Like I put all my team together in the beginning of the month. I said, we're going to do it. We're going to align ourselves to the best version of us. As a byproduct, we're going to hit the 100K a month. And I visualized it almost every single morning. And it fucking ripped. The thing is that, And bro, it's just numbers at the end of the day. Like it's not like, I don't know, like, no, like when I was like newer, or even like 6-7 months ago, it's like, I don't know, like I thought this was gonna like change my life. Like when I thought 100 came on, I thought of like, oh, I'm gonna be up there with Brez and them. I was like, what the fuck? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like not that big of a deal. Like it's cool to hit it. It's a cool number, but it's just like the journey's way significantly better.
The journey's fun.
Significantly better.
And it's like the cherry on top, especially when you hit it. Like for those that don't know, we had a mastermind in Sweden. And literally on the last day, it was on the last day, right?
Last day of January.
Last day of January. I saw the message hit, boom, Andres, and then at the time, Dario also hit it. Alessio and Brian also hit it. So 4 of you guys hit it, going to Sweden. And, I had to, scramble my way, get 100K a month award and shit.
Bro, it was hilarious for me because, like, I literally had to make it happen. Like, we had a bunch of calls to finish off the month. I was like, we're going to hit it, no problem. We had a couple, like, really tough prospects. We're like, shit, couldn't close that one. Like, a couple $100 away. I had to pull some strings to some of my existing clients who owed me some money. I was like, yo, can you guys pay me, like, in advance? Made it happen. And it was like at 10 p.m. I had a fucking flight to catch at 6 a.m. I had to wake up at 3 to go to Sweden. So I had like fucking 3 hours of sleep to go to Sweden. But no, it was all worth it.
Sick, man. I mean, let's get into, I want to get into your why. I went over this with Hoku as well. And, I feel like we're so young and we've achieved so much success at a young age that it's completely out of the ordinary. It's completely not normal at all. And I guess in your sense, like, for you, like, why do you work so hard and where does this drive really come from?
I would say my why, I have a couple whys, but I feel like my biggest why always has been fulfilling my potential. Like I've always known I've been capable of so much. I always knew I was going to make money. I always knew I was going to be rich. I just needed to find a vehicle for it. Once I went through what I went through with DPDR, almost taking my life, being so suicidal and depressed and feeling like I was never going to be a normal person again, it stripped everything from me and I had to rebuild myself all the way up from nothing. And that journey was so insane for me. It was empowering. It taught me that everything in life was possible. And then from there, just like knowing that other people, like my clients, are going through what I went through and I can help them through it, you know, and I can also make money as a byproduct of that. It just, everything kind of comes together really nice where like, I know as a byproduct of me fulfilling my potential, I'm going to help so many other people. I can help my family as well. And I can help, you know, my grandparents, for example, who are immigrants from Colombia. My grandfather's been a bus driver for like 50 years, you know, and he does Uber now. He does bus driving. He's like pushing 80 and he's like still working and stuff, you know. One of the things that you brought up, or someone brought up in the Sweden Mastermind, was like taking care of others and how important that is. And I just started thinking about it. I already do that for my family. Like I give my grandparents $1,000 here and there, you know, things of that nature. But I take care of my grandmother's rent and all that. But I realized like I can do more. Like I can give them more. Like, you know, like I can really do more for them. I can, even if it's money, even if it's showing up for them, and that pushes me, you know, because I now have freedom to do that. I don't have to stress about money. I know they're only getting older, so it's now is the time to kind of like, you know, give back to them because they've always been there for me. No, so that's definitely one of my biggest reasons.
And I think the cool thing about this is that, bro, whenever I ask this question, it's never about like, oh, I wanted to buy the car.
No.
I wanted to buy this item. I wanted to buy this material thing. It's always about like the people around us. And something that I really resonate with what you just said is like, man, the fulfillment doesn't actually come from the 100K a month. It comes from what you can actually do with the 100K a month. And I think you really understand that. And that's also why, like, when you hit it, man, like everyone was happy. Everyone was like there, and, you know, such a good moment as well for you to share to everyone, like, you know, the clients, like what worked for you. And I think that was really special in a sense where you're doing it for the right reasons and not because you want the car or because you want the material item like a lot of people do. How do you kind of find yourself, or how can you navigate having good morals and good values while, you know, like everyone is preaching about material items and all that?
Yeah, that's a good question. To be honest, it's something like I admire that from you because you showed that in your content, your stories and stuff, and everyone else was kind of like, yeah, I just hit 100K a week, or like I hit a 10K a day. And the rare occasion of like, oh, I gave back to my people, and you know what? And something I realized about you compared to like my past mentors is that like, I actually admire that of you. Like I can actually say like Sue has qualities that I align with, and Sue, like, you know, you're not about the fancy car and all that. And I can actually say that I look up to you in that way. You know, like other people I've worked with in the past, I just realized they're not really like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know why people are, honestly, like, I don't know why people are attracted to like the car and that and all these type of things when there's, I believe there's more important things out there. That's basically all I gotta say about that. It's like, it's just not important to me, to be honest.
Yeah, and I say this all the time. It's like, I want our, you know, relationship to go past a business relationship, and the things that we've been able to connect on, and the things that we've been able to really just like resonate with each other on in Sweden and even in London, man. Like we're probably gonna riff a game of 2K after this shit, you know. Of course. I was smoky guys, show y'all all that shit. But like, this is the coolest things about what we do. We're so young. We make so much money at such a young age. We're so blessed to be in this position. But I think a level past that is that we have our morals and values in check. And that is something that's so rare. It's common for people to make money online. It's common for people to achieve success at a young age, but it's uncommon for people to want to spend it the right way and want to use it the right way. And I think that's an aspect that is just so underrated.
I agree with that.
That I love that you have as well.
Yeah, something you were talking about too, like you want to make an impact. You were saying that in the Sweden Mastermind, and I resonated with that a lot because, like I said, at a certain point, money is just money, and you can really like impact a lot more lives. You can have a bigger emotional driver. At a certain point, money is just like a number on a screen. It doesn't even fucking matter, really.
It's just a pixel.
You just become so desensitized to it, and we're blessed to say that, right? Because other people, they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Right? But we can see it for what it is, and it's just a tool at the end of the day. It's just who you are internally is way more important than the money you make, because the money's never going to fulfill you.
100%.
You know?
100%.
Right.
What problem did you solve that really allowed you to hit that 100K mark?
I would say for me, the biggest thing was like the mindset, in the sense of like me stepping into the version of myself that I knew I could be. So before I joined you, I was kind of in this like little bit of a mental rut where it's like I kept acting out of my old identity. Like my past self, my bad habits were kind of catching up to me. And I was like kind of like dismissing it for a while. I never really wanted to address it. Then I realized like I have to stop doing this. Like I have to really tap in to the version of me I want to become. And I believe like an internal shift is way more important than actions. You know how like Nero was talking about how like action is the lowest level thing you could do. Identity is number one. So once I shifted my identity, I was like, I will act in accordance with the 100K version of myself. And I literally told all my guys, January 1st, January 2nd, I literally created like these worksheets called Letting Go of Your Past Self, Highest Self worksheet, and My Reasons and My Goals. And I made every single one of them do it, including myself. We all let go of our past things that we didn't want. We stepped into the identity we wanted, and we made clear, actionable, and emotional goals to why we want to do those things. And from there, it's like the identity was there. I was aligned with my team, and I just fucking did it, you know? Identity shifts is the biggest thing. That's my...
Ooh, I want to touch on that because you hit 100K a month before.
I did.
You did 100K a month before, and you stooped down to 30, right? You stooped down to 30. And what did you have to mentally reframe in order to get back to that identity? Because you mentioned it in the one-on-one breakdown as well. You kind of called it like a fluke. Like it didn't feel like, oh, I really hit that. What was different about this time around where it was like, this isn't a fluke. This is because I implemented the right systems, I implemented the right team, and I can sustainably hit 100K a month.
Right, because like when the first time I did it, I actually like basically did it by accident. Like we literally, I did, like we had a couple like random client extensions that usually don't happen. We had a couple like payment plans come in and things were adding up and I was like, what the fuck? Like we're almost at 100 and then we made a push towards the end, we made it happen. This time I actually set it up from the beginning. I literally, on my team worksheet, I literally had like a whole pep talk of like, we are going to act in accordance like 100K month business. And I made everyone actually do a vision board as well. And I have it on my phone. So like everyone was dialed in with that identity and no one dropped the standard. And that's why it happened frictionless. And I told them it was going to happen frictionless. I told them if we keep trying to force things to happen, it's not going to happen. If we shift our identity, everything's going to flow naturally. Everyone's dialed. I was dialed in with the content. I did a really good job of doubling down on organic content. And I was pushing much more stories out there, like way more than I've ever done. I was having really quality pieces of content, kind of like more bottom of funnel content to convert more. I was playing around with top of funnel too. You actually opened my mind to more of the organic side of things because I was stuck in like an ads focused mindset for a while. So I opened my mind to like, okay, I can do this organically. And before I knew it, these pieces of content started bringing 10 leads a day, 10 leads a day, 10 leads a day. Started booking in more calls because I had a competent setter. My closer was dialed, closed them. I had 2 12K deals come through in January. That's already 24K right there, right? And I had a bunch of other like 7.5 pips. Good quality clients. And it came as a byproduct of me just putting in the inputs, you know?
The thing for you that I realized, because the way that you joined was actually pretty funny. It wasn't like a sales call. It was a consultation call that you paid for, like a 1 hour consulting call. And then you realize like, yo, like they have everything to solve the problem that Sue even pointed out. Might as well join them. And so that was kind of like a seamless transition or a seamless next step. But I think for you, man, the main thing that I really want to point out is that you already knew what you needed to do. No, I knew that from the beginning. I literally already knew it. Low key, like I joined your program with the intent of like, all right, he's gonna help me, but at the end of the day, this is a commitment I need to make to myself because I need a little bit of a push. You know, I'd rather just pay for like the implementation of the push than to like try to force it out. So I knew joining you, you're serious about your shit. You know, this is business. Like I'm not gonna fuck around. And I actually respected you a lot. I've been looking at your shit for like a year now. I knew I couldn't fuck around. So as a byproduct of that, I just like, let's fucking run it, you know? And I think us high level guys, we don't need to be taught the clarity. We need to be reminded what to do. So it's like 9 times out of 10, it's like we already know what to do. We already know the next step, but it's just we need to be reminded and we need to be held accountable. And it's so funny because when I transitioned to B2B consulting, I thought that I didn't need any accountability. I thought that, my clients will hold themselves accountable because they've already made money. But I am so dead wrong. I'd argue that B2B guys need more accountability than B2C guys.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, like genuinely insane, because we just need to be reminded and held accountable to do the things that we already know what we need to do. And sometimes it does take investing that money.
Yeah, I think clarity is one of the most important things you can have as a business owner, because little moments of clarity, like even a call can kind of shift your perspective or kind of reinforce what you already knew, and that forces you to take action. I would much rather pay for clarity than kind of just trying to do things by myself. When I've tried to do things by myself, it kind of never goes as I want to.
Whenever I feel like, hey, what am I doing? Usually it is a matter of finding someone that has already done what I want to do and dropping a lot of money. Like I remember in September, I was kind of like stagnant at 100K. Just, I did 150 and then I dropped to like 100, and I was sustaining 100 for like 3-4 months, which was cool. But I knew that, okay, I needed the next step. But I didn't have a bigger why. I didn't have a person right there.
That was my problem, bro.
Accountable, because we're so confident. Like, bro, your lifestyle doesn't change from 100, like from 50 to 100, from even 30 to 100. It doesn't change. It's just your perception of yourself changes. That's the only thing. And your fulfillment changes in a sense where it's like you're happier that you achieve your potential. That's the only thing that fundamentally changes. Nothing about your lifestyle changes.
Yeah, correct.
I could afford this apartment probably at 30. The lifestyle to live a very good life is around 30K. And so for you, I think it was really just like that extra push. And for me, when I was at 100, I needed that extra push. So I invested in guys like Hormozy, guys like Daniel, guys like, I spent so much money that month. An uncomfortable amount of money where I was like, the next month, back against the wall, we got to make this work. And then we eventually did 224. And it's like, I think you had to have that, and everyone kind of has to have that.
You do.
Because you get very comfortable.
You need emotional drivers. I 100% agree. I don't know why I had so much resistance towards it. I already knew it. Like I told you, I already knew what I had to do. And the reason I dropped after that 100K is because I didn't really have an emotional driver. I was like, okay, like, why does it matter?
Let's talk about that. So
I would recommend anyone watching this, like you need to literally go on a piece of paper and write down your whys. That needs to be multiple reasons. And what I like to do that changed it, that really helped me, is right below like whatever it is. Let's say, like for me, it was like I want to hit 1 million cash collected in 2026, right? I wrote the positive emotion of what I will feel when I hit that thing, and the negative emotion of what I would feel when if I don't hit that thing. And the negative emotion is what people need sometimes, because like it's great to say, oh yeah, I hit 1 million cash collected, I'm gonna feel great. But if you don't do it, that shit'll fucking break your heart.
Exactly.
And that shit hurt me even thinking about that. Like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to, do the things I want to do for my family. And it's like, the fuck, like I'm gonna go do it right now. Like I'm hitting that shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You almost have to create artificial pain.
You do, 100%.
You have to create artificial urgency because there is no real urgency. So it's bro, like you were already doing 30. You had to create that artificial kind of scarcity, but no one can do it for you except yourself. And I think you did a really good job of understanding that and taking that next step. And it's so hard. Like I say this all the time, 30 to 100 is actually very easy, but it's the hardest mentally because you need to find a bigger why. You need to create that artificial pain and urgency. And what you just said was fucking sick. Yeah.
I feel a lot of responsibility for like actually doing it. For my team, number one, I want to change my team's lives. I already have done that, but I want to continue to support them in their own life, their own journey, my family members. And for me, I think a big one, honestly, is like doing it for the version of me that I know who couldn't do it, that was stuck in DPDR, who couldn't even see what tomorrow was like, who was scared to drive, who was scared to do anything in life. And for the people I know out there who would trade places with me in a second. And I want to take full advantage of what I have now because I had nothing before. When I slip up, it's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like you have everything. Like just stop being a bitch. Put in the work, So I can't let myself down. That's something I'm always going to remember. It's always going to be one of my biggest emotional drivers.
Sick, man. That's sick. You have such a high standard for yourself now. And you do it for your clients as well. You do it for your clients because now it's like you're the leading like you're the industry leader in this entire DPDR niche. And the people literally look at to be like, hey, this guy overcame what I'm going through.
I can do it too.
I can do it too.
Yeah.
This guy went from where he was at and the things that he was struggling with, the same problems that I'm facing, to building this type of business and helping people do the same. Like, that's crazy.
And I feel like I owe it to people because I'm like the only one doing it, you know? Like, if I don't hold myself to that standard, people are going to suffer, you know? And that's why I was telling you earlier, I want to like expand with my AI so I could actually do a huge impact on people's lives.
You're like a walking billboard for yourself, which is so fucking cool because it's like, I solved this, now I'm doing this. Man, I'm living proof that this shit works.
Facts.
And that's the cool shit, man. That's like the really fucking cool shit about this. It's like the impact that you create and the amount of inspiration you drive for obviously the audience, but your clients, man. Your clients, right? Yeah. So that's sick, bro. That's sick.
Yeah, it's awesome changing people's lives. Like I just had a client interview yesterday with one of my guys. He was telling me like he can travel now. Before he couldn't even think about traveling. He's gone to Croatia, Copenhagen, sick, Milan. Yeah. He has a job, like he has a future. He's going to uni. He's getting his driver's license, something that he put off for like fucking 4 years because he was so scared. Yeah. And now he can do that. You know, I just had a onboarding call with a mom this morning. Yeah. She was destroyed, and now she told me just getting through the course, she feels so much better. She's like thanking me so much because I changed her life already within a week. Yeah, it's amazing.
Sick, bro. It's sick. And I guess for you, man, like, you know, the obviously the main problem that you solved was identity. But what was a very tactical business problem that you solved that allowed you to kind of scale to the next one?
Having a competent setter was one of the biggest ones. Having an actual A+ setter or even an A player. Yeah. I was so complacent having like a C player. Yeah. And it was just because he was convenient. I'm not going to lie. It was just convenient to have him around. I didn't really want to go to the stress of going to someone else. We were already doing, we did hit 100. We were doing like 70. And it was like, I didn't want to do that. But like making the hard decision to let him go was a big one. It was really big. So having a competent setter made my life so much easier. Yeah. Doubling down on organic content and actually hitting very specific pain points that I know they were going through, that hit well. Like this one video I did, I talked about like weed and mushrooms because something I experienced too, a lot of other people experienced. I got a bunch of leads through that. The stories, I was slacking with stories. So like,
and I called you off.
Yeah, 100%. Even like, it didn't have to be like perfect. I always thought I had to do the perfect story sequence because like, obviously I've learned from you, I've learned from Nick. It's like, it doesn't have to be the perfect story sequence. And I realized that I kept my positioning and my authority really high through my content. I had good podcast clips for max authority. That was more tactical. Yeah. Just doubling down more volume for me.
Sick. That's sick. You were stuck at 30 after achieving a lot. Yeah. If you could speak to your younger self or speak to a business owner that's already achieved success, but maybe they've dropped down to 30 as well, what is one piece of advice you'd give them?
The only reason they drop down is because they don't have a big enough emotional driver. That's the only reason. That's literally the only reason. There is nothing else stopping them from hitting what they hit before, if not more, if they tap into the version of themselves that they want to be. So they need an emotional driver. That's the most important thing.
And what is the best way to have a strong emotional driver?
You need to, like I said, you need to write it down. You need to have a list. You need to write down your reasons, your goals. Like I said, why you want to hit it, how you're going to feel when you hit it, and how you're going to feel if you don't hit it. And that right there locks you back.
I think the thing you said about what you feel when you don't hit it,
it's one of the biggest things.
That shit really hits.
I tell my clients the same thing. It's so funny because like what I do is very niche, very, very niche. But the concepts I teach them are literally the same concepts. Yeah. I even have to remind myself, same concepts you might even talk about when it comes to identity shifting. And having an emotional driver is everything, genuinely. Because if not, like, why are you doing it? As us humans, and I didn't notice this until recently. Like, I heard people talking about how, like, you need to feel the thing before you achieve it. Emotions drive behavior. And I was like, I never really understood it until I really tapped into it. And I realized like it's true. And even if you have to, like you said, almost like create urgency, create like this little thing that kind of ticks you off, you know? Whatever your little niche thing is, you kind of have to create it. It has to be personal to you.
Yeah. And that's the sick part because it's like, we're in full control of that. And especially if you're competitive, especially if you do sports and everything. It's the whole idea of like, if you look at athletes, you know, top athletes, the world-class athletes, they always find the smallest thing, just tick them off.
Yeah.
And then boom, they're fucking on it.
Yeah.
Like, have you watched The Last Dance?
Jordan, of course, bro. Of course.
I don't know if you talk about, like, you remember the stories of like their opponent saying something like so small, so insignificant.
That's what he needed.
But he takes it so fucking like, you know, personally. Like I took it personal, and then boom, it just goes crazy. And that's what we need as business owners as well.
We do.
You know, so.
And you know what the best part is? It's like once you do that, you actually feel aligned and connected to the business. You're not just fucking like doing shit to do shit, right? It's very easy to just do shit to do shit. And that's something I struggled with. I was just like kind of doing it just for business and for business. And that's why I wasn't connected at a certain point. And I had to reconnect myself to my emotional drivers. And then now I started to feel good about what I was doing, you know? Instead of just like looking at numbers on a screen and just doing things because I felt like I needed to do them.
Did you go from like, kind of like almost dreading the work to being excited to work?
Yes,
that was the thing.
Yeah.
And I think every single business owner experiences that, because it's like the work becomes so repetitive and so monotonous that it's like you don't find excitement anymore, and you kind of wake up and you just do it for the sake of doing it. It's like you're used to it. You're just so used to brute forcing it. But when you can tap into an internal motivation to be excited to wake up, be excited to do the work, man, it's so much more fulfilling to scale that business.
So much better. Yeah. And I think a big part of that, I was a victim of like working maybe like 14-hour days. And when you do that, your mind literally has no space for anything else. Then you wake up and you do the same thing over and over again. Especially in the mornings, I took time to myself. Those first 30 minutes where I didn't even touch my phone. I took time to myself. I put on like this YouTube video, and I would visualize the things I want out of life. And now all of a sudden, life feels like a game. Instead of life feeling, bro, when you gamify life, you are ripping. Like when I would tap into all the emotions of how I'm gonna feel when I achieve those things, bro, I just felt like, fuck, like I this is my playground. Before I felt like I was brute forcing shit, and it was like, it didn't work. It was not clicking.
You had all this pressure, all this stress, all this like doubts and shit. But then when you like, you know, zoom back out and you're like, you know, why am I even doing this? And you find that, bro, I think that's what really got you. Like that was the thing that you needed. It wasn't even the strategy or the little advice. It was the overall identity shift that you made that allowed you to really hit that. You know,
agreed.
At that point. So,
agreed.
I want to talk about, you know, you've been doing this business for how long?
Quite a year and a half.
A year and a half. And you've tried a lot of things, you know, and what would you say was different about this specific program that allowed you to kind of hit that mark?
I would say it just felt aligned with me in a sense of like, when I joined, it felt very like natural to me. It was the next logical step for me because I already gone through some other programs. I already done ads. I always knew I was going to end up working with you. I always knew it. Like,
how come?
I just knew it. I just like the whole entire year, probably like literally the whole entire year. It was just like, I already knew that I was going to work with you. Like you were making more than I was. Your vision was aligned with me. Your morals aligned with me. I wanted a strong community. And when I joined, I felt like I was in the right place. Like it actually felt like it was perfect for me in a sense. And it didn't take much to get me to where I wanted to be. Like we talked about, I think I've used like 20% of CM.
Bro. And you've already,
I haven't even gone through the SOP library. I haven't done the thing.
Just wait till we get the track.
I know, I haven't even finished the course, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I got what I needed, and I think these next couple months are gonna get me to where I wanna be. I really wanna take full advantage of everything you have to offer.
Bro, like the fact that you only implemented 20% and you've already achieved an outcome where it's like, you know, you got back to where you want, so that's crazy. Is it more of like, you know, you've tried a lot of things in the past and some of them has worked, some of them haven't. And we're not gonna say any names or anything like that, but what was different about this? Was it like the moral compass and the fact that we actually gave a shit? Was it the way that we structured it? Like, what was it? You've worked with a lot of people that kind of do what I do. Right?
I can tell, I really liked how much of emphasis you put on fulfillment. I can tell like the fulfillment was dialed in. Like you have some really solid A players on your team. And it made me feel like I said, I was in the right place. I was going to be taken care of. If I had a question, it was going to be answered. If I needed to speak with someone, I could do it. I liked the community a lot. I liked the Wins channel. I like how they're fucking dialed. Like I haven't been in a community where like I can see like, all right, 10K piff today, and then this guy's doing 100, and then these guys are dialed. Like it's actually active.
Yeah.
And they're in similar niches too. And it's actually like guys like I actually know from online, for example, Hoku and like some other dudes, like some fitness coaches I've been following. I knew you worked with some like pretty solidified guys.
Yeah.
So like it make me feel like this is what I need. Like, you know, it just felt right.
Yeah.
The course from what I'd seen had already helped me so much. I took amazing notes. I was dialed in on like every minute of it. And it just, like I said, I think it just felt right for me.
I think, I remember when you joined, it's actually so funny. There were like 7 different wins in the wins chat. And you were like, yo, like, damn, you know, like the first impression just gives off is like, yo, like I'm in the right spot. And that's essentially, I think everything about fulfillment, that's so important. And I think like you really, like your fulfillment first as well, which is why in a 3-5 year time span, man, we're going to be light years ahead of our competition because so many of these guys are focused on the marketing and the way the positioning and the authority, right? You personally.
Oh my God. Honestly, like that's something you talked about a lot in the mastermind, and I appreciate that a lot. Like you doubled down on like fulfillment's the most important thing. Fulfillment's the most important thing. I don't know many other guys that would actually put that much of an emphasis on it, to be honest. Like everyone wants to know about the new story sequence or the new ad strategy or the new fucking God knows what, no angle. But like you literally said, like fulfillment will be king. And I realized that. And for me, morally, I don't know how people do what they do. Like I don't understand how you can just be the marketing king, but your fulfillment's fucking mid. Like I just don't get how you can live with yourself. And I liked how you understand that concept, and now doubling down on fulfillment, making sure it never ever drops below a standard. And I could tell that even through your content. I think you posted a story once of like how we have coaches for every single different thing. And I was like, shit, that's something I've never seen before. I can tell he's dialed the fulfillment. I want to up my fulfillment too. I want to make sure my fulfillment's dialed, and it made me want to like, you know, join.
Bro, one thing that you just said in our one-on-one breakdown that really stuck with me is you paused acquisition for February because you wanted down the fulfillment. Man, think about how many people would never even think about something like that. That's like the last thing that they could cross their mind. Because so many people do the bare minimum for fulfillment and then just go crazy on the marketing side. And you know, like props to them, their marketing is fucking good, but at the end of the day, it's
they
like,
live with themselves.
I can't sleep at night knowing that, you know?
I can't do it.
I can't sleep at night.
I literally had to stop my entire acquisition. I told my guys, don't book in another call until we dial this shit in. Because like, again, I'm very connected with my clients. I know what they're going through. My reputation is the most important thing. And I want literally like a lifelong business. I don't want this to be a 2-3 year thing like some info guys, right? Like I'm in the info space, but I don't want to be known like the other guys that like market, but they don't fulfill. Like I literally want the strongest reputation in the world. So I put that above everything.
Yeah. That's so important, the reputation, because you only have one.
You only have one reputation.
You can, like sales, bro, they'll come and go. Money will come and go, but reputation will stick with you for life. And, you know, obviously you've been through not so great, you know, mentors and stuff. Like, how did you get past that, you know, fear of it not working out again? Because a lot of people have been burned before. I've been burned before, which is, you know, what that allowed me to do was make my fulfillment so fucking good that I don't want anybody to associate that type of feeling with my name ever again.
Yeah.
How did you kind of get past that fear of investing, even though maybe the first time wasn't the best?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I would never had a fear of investing because I believe at the end of the day, I'm going to make it worth it no matter what. Even in the program I was in where whatever, the fulfillment wasn't where it needed to be, and I felt like I didn't get what I wanted fully out of it. I knew I made it worth it at the end of the day. And I believed in myself over anyone else. So, you know, like the quote, like, you are the guarantee. For me, I was the guarantee. So I knew if I was going to invest in you, I was going to make it worth it. And also I'd seen your stuff for so long to the point where like I trusted you. I mean, I knew you were going to help me, you know? And as a high level business owner, you don't need to be like I didn't invest in you because I thought you were going to fix everything in my business and fucking turn me to $1 million a month. All I need is one fix.
One or two things.
All I need is one thing, and I just made my ROI back within a day, literally, or a week, you know? So I understood it didn't need to be perfect. I had high standards for it anyways because I believed your stuff and you were dialed. But to me, investing in yourself is the biggest thing you can do. Like I've invested a shit ton in the business and myself. And I love the quote, it was by Hormozy, I believe, where it's like, every month you don't know how to make 100K a month, you're losing X amount. And for me, that hurts more than anything because I knew I was like 70, 50, whatever the fuck. Yeah. And I knew if I don't pull the trigger on this, like, what do I have to lose at the end of the day?
The cost of inaction.
Yeah, the cost of inaction is way greater than saving 15K, 12K, it's 20K, it doesn't fucking matter, right?
Yeah. What do you think was the one thing in the program that helped you out the most? What part was your favorite? Was it the community? Obviously, we just came back from Sweden. We're in London now. Yeah. But what was your favorite part?
My favorite part, I would have to say again, like the mindset shifts.
Mindset shifts.
The identity shifts. Like even that one little group call you had with Nero in the course, that helped me out a lot. That was crazy. Yeah. It helped me out a lot. And I would say the wins too, because it pushed me. I was like, oh, I want to fucking post to win. I want to, I want these guys to know what's up. You know what I mean?
They wanted that, bro, I know for a lot of people, they wanted the 100K a month role. Because you know how in the community I have like 10 to 30, 30 to 30, 50, 50 to 100. Everyone wanted 100K a month.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I guess we'll wrap it up here, man. This is the last question that I have. There's probably a few people watching this video that are kind of on the fence. Maybe they've been burned before. Maybe they've tried some things that haven't worked out for them. From your experience of working with me, what would you say to them?
I would say I want to speak to more of like the people that are already making good money. Yeah. You know, kind of like we were talking about, like 30K a month, 20K a month plus. What do you have to lose? Like this guy, like Sue is not going to burn you. He's not going to scam you. So like, don't worry about that. You literally need 1 or 2 shifts in your business and you're making your ROI back in 1 month or less. You know, like what you're going to learn in his program is way more valuable than you think. So that's just got to rip it, to be honest. You know, like I didn't have any objections when I joined, to be honest. Like I already knew I was in. If you're on the fence, I would probably say it's more of like they're probably doubting themselves in a sense, but you can't wait to feel ready. You know, you can't wait to feel ready. I would say investing myself I've never gone wrong with it. Even when I felt like I didn't get what I wanted out of a program, I still made it worth it, right? And if I'm gonna recommend something, I actually value it a lot. I'm actually gonna whip it out of my ass. Yeah. So I know for a fact that I can recommend you to people, someone watching this, and they are gonna have a good experience. And Suway's not a fucking magic wand, right? But he's gonna help you, right? And his team is dialed, so they're gonna help you as long as you actually put in the work and apply yourself and do what you gotta do.
Sick, you know? Man. I appreciate that. And I think one thing as well, it's like, you don't know what you don't know. I don't think you were fully aware of like the identity shift problem until maybe you watched a video. You know, you probably thought that you had this problem, but then, we made you realize you had this problem, you know? So it's what you don't know as well, and also the cost of inaction that got you to where you are. So
rip it.
Sick, man. I appreciate you.
Of course, brother.
For you, what is your goal in the next year? What do you want to achieve?
The next year? Fuck, bro. That's a long time.
Think long term.
Next year. Holy crap. That's big. I would say in the next year, super confident that I can be doing 250K a month.
I think
consistent.
You can be doing more, bro.
Yeah, consistent for sure. Like I told you, I want to really rip the software, the AI. I really want to make that like the big thing that helps people worldwide. So I believe a year from now, it's going to be ripping. I'm going to help a lot of people. I'm going to impact a lot of lives, save a lot of lives. And when it comes to my own one-on-one clients, I want extremely high caliber clients that are super, super, super ready to change their lives. It's a good goal. A year from now, I'd still be probably living out in Puerto Rico. I don't know, man. A year's a lot, but yeah, that's what I have for now.
Let's make it happen, bro.
Appreciate you for everything, brother.
Literally, bro. We've just touched the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna tap into the next 80% of what you have to offer.
It's not even been like 3 months, bro. It's like, I think it's our second month.
It's been a year and a half. I mean, a month and a half.
Yeah, a month and a half. So it's like, bro, 90 days in and we already had this transformation. So I'm excited to see what you can do. Let's make it happen, bro.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Cool.